like that. Like, I'm not doing that. Hey y'all, so I'm actually getting in the bed, but I wanted to give you guys an update on the license situation. Because I just stayed up until it's probably midnight at this point. Actually, let's see. Yes, it is 12:18 a.m. It was March 20th, and this has ran into March 21st. But you guys know that I've been on this process of applying to other license in different states to, be able to have more opportunity for other contracts, as most of the contracts require license in that state. So, as I've said before, my license in Alabama and Illinois have already been submitted and are pending, but I was starting the process for 2 others. And that one is Maryland and Texas. So yesterday on Sunday, I went to kind of have brunch and sit somewhere where I could work on that. So I did everything needed for my Maryland license yesterday, and I kind of have been semi-procrastinating on the Texas one because it did require an additional exam before you could actually apply for the license. It's called a Texas jurisdiction exam, and it just reviews the Texas social work laws that you need to know before practicing social work in that state. I honestly think it's something really good to do, but it is definitely time consuming, and it was 126 questions. And so I'm like, child, we getting close to ASWB numbers. But the exam was very simple. It was open book. So the answer to every question was pretty much provided to you. All you had to do was read it. So it wasn't bad. I just literally had to find the time and mental capacity to do it. And today, for some reason at work, when I got off, I was like, I think I'm going to go home and complete that exam that's needed for Texas instead of going to the gym, because I had the mental capacity to do it today. So I took advantage of that, did the Texas exam, and did the online application, requested transcripts be sent to Maryland and Texas, got my ASWB scores sent to both states, sent emails for the background checks. So I've been doing a lot of work for these other licenses. And I'm going to just say it can get draining. So just start with a couple and then add them on as you go, because it can most definitely be draining. I am hopeful that at this point, after these, I will have, I think, is that 5? Tennessee, Alabama, Illinois, Maryland, Texas. So that's 5 different licenses. That's enough to keep going and at least always have a job, because Maryland always has positions open. Texas always has positions open, and Illinois frequently has positions open as well. So 3 out of the 5 of those are states that I see positions frequently open in. So I feel like that's a good start of always having, positions open. I will, eventually look at other areas to apply for license in. I think once I do these, I will go ahead and start looking at California. But the thing about California is just, I don't really know when the time will come that I want to go there, but I do know that it will eventually come. And I do know that it's also another area that always, 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 always has contracts open. So I need to try to get a license there. So that's definitely going to be next on my list. And then from there, I'll probably look at areas that commonly have positions open, but are also, again, drivable distance from my home, because that's my preference. My preference is to be in a location where I can drive within 8 to 9 hours back to my home. So that's what I will be looking at. I'll keep you guys updated on the other ones that I do have. And then I will probably eventually do individual videos on the processing for each individual state to kind of give some more detail on how easy or complex or how long to expect to have that license be processed. So that's the update on the license. To give an update on contracts, we are still, waiting for that right contract. And I think I expressed last week that I was kind of at a state where I was starting to get anxious and a little bit worried. But, over this weekend, I really took some time to reflect and, you know, spend some time with God. And one of the things from the message that was given on Sunday was just that I wouldn't bring you this far to make you go back. And so that was confirmation to me that, like, he's got a plan. And as I, talked to some of my sisters and asked for them to pray for me, they, one of them said that those no's are just because there's something else waiting for you that is designed specifically for you, and it's just those just aren't it. And then coincidentally, on Sunday, as I was getting dressed and after my sermon, I was watching a Vogue video that Lauren London was doing, and she was just kind of giving some inspirational talk. And she said when she would audition for different actress roles, every time she got a no, her dad would tell her that no is one step closer to your yes. So I just feel like everything that it's happening is supposed to happen, and it's just getting me closer to that contract that is specifically for me, and is going to be another great opportunity and experience for me as a travel social worker. And with that being said, I want to kind of talk about something that I had an epiphany or, realization of within this process over the weekend and today. And that is, yes, part of the reason that we do this is, yeah, it is lucrative. We do gain a lot more money doing travel social work than we do being on someone's staff. However, the other part of it is about opportunity and learning experience and just the overall experience itself. With that being said, understand that sometimes the contracts that may come with the best experience may not come with the best pay. And so don't take something that is extremely low and you cannot live off of. I don't recommend doing that. But I will say, if there's something that's like medium pay, it's not extremely high, it's not extremely low, but it comes with a great deal of experience. And, like, for example, I talked about in one of my TikTok videos that they always ask about Trauma One hospitals. If it's a notable Trauma One hospital, like an Ivy League school hospital that's trauma, or like these super popular hospitals for research, where if they see the name of that hospital, you're automatically like, oh, that's a great hospital. You worked there, you did well there, you got reference from there. That is a part of the experience and growing portion of travel social work. And I say that, it's those contracts are still worth taking, because when you take that contract, you may not get all the money at that time from that contract, but the experience that you're going to get, it's going to set you up for more money in the future, because with you having that experience, you're going to be more marketable for other contracts. And those ones that are more competitive and stuff like that, that puts you at the top of the list, because now you have, experience, you got reference, and not just any experience, but experience from one of the most notable hospitals. So those are things to consider. Yes, you want the ones with money, but also consider the experience and where you're going and the type of hospital that you will be able to gain experience from when you're looking at these contracts as well. But that's my spiel for tonight, y'all. I am totally exhausted. I have tested myself and applied license myself out, and I'm sleepy. So we're going to go to sleep and pray for another productive day tomorrow, and maybe even some good news. Oh, that was the whole point of me telling y'all this, is that I talked to a recruiter from Melio today. We initially had some additional conversation last week telling me that there was a meeting with a hospital in Alabama that was looking for a social worker with an Alabama license. So they were going to try to put my profile together and go ahead and send it to that, hospital, to let them know that I am already applying for my license and this is the experience that I have. So she called me back today to let me know that they were able to get it in front of the hospital manager. And of course, they can't do much until the contract is complete. And the meeting was just to kind of establish the contract. So the contract won't be complete until like the end of this week. She was like, but she did already make them aware that my license is pending. They didn't seem to have a huge concern at that time about it. And they seemed to be okay with it. So she said that it could potentially be something that's, a possibility for placement. So no confirmation, but better news than, bad news. So, and then also my other recruiter with Brundage, she made contact with me today to say that there was potentially a contract that may be opening in, I think it was Pennsylvania. She didn't know all the details on it and what the requirements would be, but she was looking out for it to see what, that could possibly look like as well. So again, still on this constant search, but no interviews or nothing that has occurred now. But I have strong faith and confirmation that I know something is going to come that is best for me. All right, that's it for tonight. Okay, guys, so today is March 31st, and I have a lot of updates regarding this process of finding a new contract. I have had interviews. I've continued to work with multiple agencies, and there's been so much that it has been hard for me to keep you guys updated. But I'll just start with, the main things, the basics, and we'll go from there. So first things first is, yes, I am continuing to work with more than one agency. I have had interviews. I've had 2. I was offered both positions. One position in a general medical hospital that I think it was listed as like a trauma 2 hospital. So it would be, something for me to have for a really great experience. And right now I'm driving home, so that's like a 4.5 hour drive, so that's nothing but time, which is why I can kind of come on here and update a little bit. But one's at a general hospital, ED. It is a trauma 2 hospital, not trauma 1 but trauma 2. So getting up there in regards to the type of care that they can provide. And then also I had an interview with another psych hospital, and honestly, initially the pay for both was not up to par, not meeting where at least what I'm at now. So I declined both offers. But the offer for the general ED, they came back with a counter offer. Now, this offer was better and closer to what I'm getting now, but still not the best. And I really still wasn't sure if I wanted to sign. And so then they offered me a sign-on bonus. So I gave a verbal agreement regarding that contract because I know it'll be really good for me. the biggest thing is that this contract is in California. It's really far away, and so that's one of the things that like makes me really concerned. But I know that it'll be a great experience. They are going to pay for my flight there and back. They are going to provide me a rental the entire time that I'm there, in addition to, you know, the pay increase. And then with it being an ED, I will have opportunity for overtime, which is great, because where I'm at, I don't have the opportunity to get overtime. It's kind of like, you know, it is what it is, and that's because they are strictly budget. So whatever doesn't get done, I just have to, you know, it has to go to the next week or the next day. But I do my best to prioritize those type of things, and, you know, work with the system to try to avoid things not being timely or whatever. But that's the good thing, is I will have the opportunity for overtime to kind of maybe match what I'm not getting. But after I gave this verbal agreement, this is the caveat to all of this, is that my current agency was presented a potential position at a very prestige hospital. This hospital, I know, like, the name of it would say a lot if it was on my resume. They are looking for a lot of the criteria that I have, like, my foundation is on. Like, they do want someone with great psych experience, and I've been doing psych for 2 years straight at a hospital. And then I've also dealt with a lot of mental health when I was a investigator, so I have a deep history in the mental health field and world. So my recruiter's like, you know, this is going to be really great for you. It also includes a little bit of ED work, and, you know, this is great. But the thing is, I've already given a verbal for another contract, so I don't have a lot of time to really work around things to see if I could maybe take that offer instead. And I'm still new to this travel social work thing, so it's kind of unclear to me on the best way to handle this. On, like, you know, if I decide to, you know, go with the other offer. And I mean, the beauty of it is that I haven't signed anything, so you know, technically I haven't committed to it, but, like, I've given a verbal agreement. So, and I don't want to burn bridges or ruin a relationship, like a professional relationship with a company, because of that. So I want to make sure that I handle the situation to the best of my ability. So I'm just kind of trying to look at the pros and the cons, and also, you know, navigate the most professional way to go about things if I decide for, you know, that's just not the best opportunity for me. I do understand, like, I haven't signed any paper, so I should have the opportunity to say, hey, you know, I really appreciate this. I do think it's a great opportunity. However, I've been presented a different opportunity that I think would be better for me. That's kind of where I'm at. But the caveat is, like, by Monday, I have to say what I'm going to do. And I may not have an answer about this other opportunity. It might take some more time to figure out, you know, how that plays out. So at that point, I'll be playing a gamble with things, just hoping and praying that that works out. And then, you know, also with the contract that I've given a verbal agreement, it's with a different agency. And I'll be honest, like, I didn't have the best feelings about them in the beginning, which is, I think, also why I feel kind of apprehensive about it, because my current agency is the only agency that has made me feel 100% safe in their hands. Every other agency, you know, sometimes it's just about filling a spot, which, you know, I get it's their job, but sometimes you gotta look at the person and what's best for them, and, you know, being considerate. And, like, the pay that they presented me the first time, I was like, how can you expect me to go all the way to California with pay like that? Like, I'm not doing that. So, you know, I'm glad that I did decline to advocate for myself, and that's something that I will say. Like, don't just take anything just because. And don't take the first thing thrown at you. Like, sometimes it's okay to decline. And my second interview that I had, I pretty much knew that I didn't want that job, and because of the pay. And I asked the account manager, hey, like, this is where I'm at with it, and I'm really not sure that I should take this interview because I know how I feel about the pay, and I just know it's not going to be feasible. But they encouraged me to still do the interview, you know, just based off the fact that that person who was doing the interview also did interviews for a different position that offered better pay. So yeah, so that was one of those things, and I did it based off their advice, and I'm totally okay with that. You know, if they tell me it's okay to do it and they encourage me to do it, I'm gonna do that. But I'm also gonna talk to them and tell them how I'm feeling, so that they don't go into it with an expectation or thinking that, okay, we're gonna get these people somebody in there, and knowing that I really don't. You know, like, I'm just a person that believes transparency is the best policy. So that's where we're at. And the biggest thing right now was just that I have an offer. I have verbally agreed to an offer. I am just not sure that it is the best offer, because there is something else on the table that could pan out and be better. And part of me is like, you know, don't feel forced into something. And, you know, God is going to cover you, and something better will come. Just be patient. So that's what I'm kind of battling right now. Like, take the opportunity. You're weary because you're kind of scared and fearful because of the distance. And the other part of me is like, no, you're weary, and this is just your first gut telling you, like, hey, this may not be the best thing to do, and I should listen to it. So, and there's better things coming. So I have some things to think about in making my final decision. So I'm gonna take some time. Like I said, right now all I have is time. So I'm gonna call my mom and talk to her a little bit. Yes, I'm still that girl. And kind of weigh the pros and cons with her. She's also in the medical field, so she knows a lot about these different hospitals. Anytime I say, hey, I'm looking at a contract here, looking at a contract there, she's immediately looking at the hospital, you know, reviews or things that she knows just based off what she's done, and kind of goes from there. So I'm just going to talk to her about it and pray a little bit more and journal a little bit more this weekend to have a decision that I'm confident in and more sure of right now. But the best thing is that I haven't signed anything, so I do still have the opportunity to say, hey, I appreciate this. I just don't think that this is the best chance, you know, the best time for me. So yeah, I will keep you guys updated on what decisions I make or what comes up following this. And also keep in mind that my contract ends next week, so I have a total of 5 days left. Next week, Monday through Friday, and that will be the end of our first contract. Hi guys, so today is April 10th, and I wanted to come on and give an update on how things are going with searching for a contract. I'm getting breakfast and getting ready to work on some things in regards to that, so I feel like this would be a good time to come and just kind of give an update. So my contract ended on Friday, and I am now home, taking some time to rest and, you know, just do things one at a time. This morning, I had an interview for a position in Maryland. The interview went fairly well, and it's also at a pretty notable hospital, so it would look good on my resume. and the pay package is also pretty good. Now, I don't think I also informed that on Friday I also had an interview, and that one was in Virginia. Um, that interview went fairly well too. It's also at a Trauma One hospital, and they offer, of course, working on different units. Both of these hospitals appear to just need somebody to be willing to help no matter where that's at. And I am more than open to that because I currently need a little bit more experience working on different units. So those are all things that I am very interested in. The pay package, of course, for Maryland is a little bit better, but the Virginia one is decent, and that area, the cost of living is a little bit cheaper. So that kind of explains, why the pay package is different. So that's that. So since last week, let me make sure I have everything correct. So the last time I talked to you guys, I was on my way home to visit. And over that time, I did a lot of like processing and evaluating, and just talking with my family and looking at the pros and cons of the California option that I had initially gave a verbal offer for. And it just wasn't the best fit for me right now, especially with the package. I personally feel like if I'm gonna go all the way to California, like, it needs to be worth it. And they were not even willing to pay me what I was getting in Indiana. And the cost of living there is so much more. So, I just have to be considerate of, if something happens to me, making sure that I have the means to take care of myself, being that, family can't get to me, and all those things of well-being. And the area in California wasn't like, kind of like the big city idea of what people think of California. It was very rural, even to the point where, like, when I'm on TikTok, I couldn't really see like a hairdresser on there, or just typical things that I would do to take care of myself. So I just feel like it wasn't the best option for me at that time. But since then, as I had mentioned before, other things had started to kind of come up, which have all been great. I've had 2 interviews, and again, that was Friday, and then one this morning. So we will see. This past Friday was Good Friday, so a lot of people were out of the hospitals. So I'm not expecting for things to be super fast today either, because some people may still be out. And of course, on Mondays, they're just trying to get acclimated back from the weekend, especially like a 3-day holiday, a 3-day weekend. So I know how that is too. But overall, like I said, both interviews went well. It's just a matter of, like, seeing who offers what has the best offer, and also looking at like experience and opportunity too. So that's where I'm at with things. I have not been giving a offer at this time for either one of those, but I have touched base with my recruiter, and she is going to be following up with both of the account managers for both of those positions to try to get some updates on what things will look like moving forward. But there's also other things that I've been submitted to that I haven't had interviews for yet that might come later. So we will just see how things progress throughout this week. But that's where we are today, with the process of finding my next contract. Good morning, guys. So today is April 12th. It is 8:06 a.m. and I am about to sign my new contract. It has been a long road. It's been a bit of a journey. It's been over a month of searching for a contract and making sure it's the right contract for me and I am the right person for them. But it is finally that time. And so, yeah, I'm actually sitting here in front of my computer and I'm about to sign my contract. So I just wanted to come and check in with you guys, just to kind of give a final closing to this, because boy, it's been a long road. But I'm appreciative and just honestly glad that I was patient, because if I would have taken, the other assignment that I initially gave a verbal offer for, I do not think that that would have been the best choice. And this choice right here is what my therapist called like the golden ticket. It's a very notable hospital, great pay package. Honestly, one of the best packages on the market right now because the travel market is a little rough right now. And like experience wise and just all of the above, this is something I couldn't pass up. So I'm grateful, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and sign the documents, and that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of these documents really quick, and then I'm gonna come back and give my final like thoughts about this whole entire process and the things that I've learned. And I may not do a whole like what I've learned thing because I do know that I want to do a video about like this process, but I may go ahead and do that. So yeah. Okay, so as I'm doing my contract, I'll just review a little bit of what it usually goes over. So it starts out with just saying like my start date, and my end date, the facility that I'm going to be with, the address of the facility, my time off requested. So make sure that that's always included if you want some guaranteed time off. So that's included in here. On the part where it has unit, it just has like my credential, which is odd because I actually do have a unit that I've been assigned to. So I'm not sure. Maybe that's going to be somewhere else because my recruiter did say that it would be on there. So let's keep reviewing and see if it's on there. It has your pay rate for hourly and also your overtime pay rate. Okay. And then other rates, so like on call, your callback rate, your holiday rate. It explains that only one premium rate will apply at a time. Oh man. Okay. Sorry guys, you guys fail. Talks about payday. It breaks down your meals and incidentals. It breaks down your reimbursements. So this includes for me relocation there and back, and also my license that I paid for. So most agencies will reimburse if you purchase it, buy it, like pay for your license, and then you get a job there. So I will be reimbursed for the money I spent on getting this license. And I did opt to have medical insurance. Now I do have the option of not doing medical insurance and either going without it or going through like a different private agency. This time I chose to have medical insurance through my agency, but next time I definitely think I'm gonna try to go ahead and do more research. And honestly, if while I'm home, I might do that so that when that time comes, I know exactly what I'm wanting to do or how to do it. But for now, I do have medical insurance through my agency. It talks about the credentialing process, which is fairly the same for everybody. The background checks, the urine checks, all that stuff. And then, okay, so that's pretty much it. On here, I'm gonna keep scrolling to see if there's anything additional. Talks about the background checks on here, which we know is always required. So it's just asking for a release for that. I have to sign for that part. Okay. And while I'm doing this, my recruiter just texted me back, so I want to text her really quickly. So I can just make sure that the part on here about my unit doesn't need to be included. So let me just get back to that real quick. And it's really weird that that's not on here. Okay, hold that thought 1 second. Okay guys, so I got the confirmation from my recruiter that LMSW is correct. So I've signed everything but that portion. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign that portion now. And that way everything will be signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay, I think that we are done. Contract is signed and we're ready to start onboarding. So after they get everything from me signing, they will start emailing me and calling me about doing all the background checks, and ideally I will have to go and get like another physical workup and all of that stuff. So yeah, that is where we are with this, and I'm excited. We are ready to start our journey to assignment number 2. So that's it for today. At least for this process. I want to close the video out with, just talking about this process. Honestly, it has been a lot. And I wish that I wasn't ending this in my bonnet. So, but this is just raw, real, how things are, where I'm at right now. And so, it is 8:30 in the morning. I'm in my bed, finishing signing my contract. So, the process overall, I'm not gonna lie, the market is kind of rough right now. I had moments where I'm like, whew, maybe I waited to, the wrong time to get into this, or I waited too late. I should have done this earlier, because, the MSW thing was so much more prevalent. And, when COVID was more prevalent, it wasn't like the license thing was not such a big deal. But I knew that most assignments wanted a license because I was on the travel page at that time, and I was able to see the assignments that were being posted. And a lot of those assignments, they wanted you to have license in that state, or they, wanted you to at least be willing to get it. And I knew, like, in order to do that, I have to at least be licensed in my state, so that way I can just apply for either what they call endorsement or reciprocity. So I did that, and I thought like me being licensed before I took off would help me a lot. And granted, it did. I will say that, because I would not have this position that I just got if I did not have my license. But it is still one of those things where it's like, okay, they're not playing about this in-hand license thing. And sorry, my voice is a little raspy because I just woke up. But, it's something that's needed. So I would just say overall, this process in search for finding a new contract, it has been a little bit rough. You guys have been on the journey with me